Hi everyone, this is Connie and welcome back to my channel. First, I want to say I'm sorry that I haven't been doing too many videos lately. I had a bit of a cold for a while and then it was just a few things that were happening too. But I wanted to touch base with you and talk to you today about how we spend our time. Speaking of which, this was the walk that we took out by the lake yesterday. But it's been a really nice weekend, and that's going to play into what we're going to talk about. The saying, and this thing's going down. I can't find the part of my selfie stick. Isn't that like so? And I don't even know if this is crooked, so it'll be like kind of artsy, I guess. This video. Anyway, before we begin, this is the number of days that are left until I can retire. Now the days are going by fast. And it seems like it is making me think more about the way that we spend our time, especially because we spend 8, 9 hours a day, sometimes more, at work. So, whatever time that we do have is precious and it flies by. I always hear people say to me, you know what, the weekend just flew by. Why does the weekend fly and then the rest of the week goes so slow? And this is true. So it's precious to us the time that we have. It's interesting because the couple that me and Bill had dinner with on Friday, we went to this great little Italian restaurant in town, sat and ate pasta and bread, and it just enjoyed each other's company. We hadn't seen each other for some time. They're both retired, and it was interesting because the husband says, "Well, I don't have a schedule. I just get up and I do whatever." And but my friend, his wife, turned around and she was like, "No, no, I have a very specific schedule. Do you want to hear it?" And it was specific. She has a Zumba class that she goes to, and she has also a Bible study that she goes to the next day, and it's all these little things that she schedules out, and she kind of deposits into different time zones in her day during the week. And of course, I listened intently with a lot of interest. That's because maybe some people have, and I think it's the same with you probably also, and with me. Some people like structure. Some people like to know what they're doing at all times. And they say sometimes, especially when you're retired, that you should have a certain amount of structure so it doesn't feel like you're going and watching TV for the whole day. That's a waste. But anyway, the same thing holds true, I have always found, when you work, because now you have just this little island of time. It's only 2 days plus an evening, and sometimes the evening goes in certain things. So I believe that it's important to prioritize what it is that you need to do, and also to vary it so it's not always mundane and it's not always the same thing. You know, for me, for example, this is how I would prioritize and make room and make those little pockets of time. The first thing I try to make time for is, and you might find that also, I try to make time for God. That's the first thing. That I try to make time for prayer, for reading the Bible. That sets the pace for the rest of the time. And a lot of times it's hard on the weekends to do that. You know what I'm talking about. Because a lot of times you're trying to fit a lot of things in and you don't have that time. But we need time for the spiritual. We need time for what is important and what it's more than just this world. And for me, my relationship with the Lord is important. So I try to separate some time, not just church, but some time actually to be with Him. Sometimes that ends up looking like just getting up and reading the Word of God, or listening to a devotional, or listening to a teaching, or even when I practice my guitar, I'll do a worship song, and that'll be my time of worship with Him. I'm looking forward to the day when I am retired and I can sometimes go to a nearby church that's open during the day, you know. So that's, to me, number one. The first thing that I would try to make time for. It doesn't have to be a 3 hour deal either. If you can separate time for God just for 10 minutes or so, whatever, that you have. But that has to be that your quality time to seek Him and to spend time. Your prayer life has to take some precedence in your life. Okay, so that for me would be one of the first things. Secondly, and just also very important, is time with your loved ones. Okay, for me that would be my husband, my children, my grandchildren. Although they were sick this weekend, I was sick before, and they were sick now, so we didn't get together. But my husband and I spent time. We actually went to yesterday. We went to an amusement park. And that was so cool because we actually had some time to go to the amusement park and be kids. That's another thing, to have time just to be kids. But, and to fix a meal, to go out for a ride, maybe just to sit outside. And you don't have to talk sometimes. You could just be in each other's company. You could be watching something, he could be doing something. But it's important. Likewise, it's also important to spend time with friends. Sometimes during your travels and your weekends, yes, go out to dinner with your friends. We were lucky because this week included another dinner with friends also. To cultivate friendships, because when you're young, it's easy to cultivate friendships. As you get older, it's harder, as you know, because you're working, you're doing other things. And that's a time that's so important, just to get together, to laugh, to be yourself, to eat, to break bread with someone that is a friend, a good friend that you can, like I said, be who you are, be yourself, and they can be themselves with you. That to me is another priority. That's something else to cultivate a friendship. Something else I have to do too is call my best friend. Even if you do, all that you do, if you get on the phone and you call someone, see how they're doing. That's important. So as a matter of fact, I have one friend that she was working with me, now she's not. So we're making plans to hopefully get together. Cultivate friendships. To me, that's important. That's a simple pleasure that is very, very important. The other thing that would be important is time for yourself also. Time just to do whatever it is that makes your soul happy, whatever you do that you enjoy. Like tonight I'm going to separate time to practice my guitar. I started the song by Gilbert O'Sullivan, Claire, and it has all these chords, so I want to make sure I do it. And I recently heard someone on another video say how we think that we have to monetize all of our hobbies, and we really don't. How about just doing something for the pleasure that it gives you? And that's how I look at the guitar. I don't look at it as, well, maybe I'm 62, so I doubt I'm gonna ever really master it. But I can enjoy it. I can learn it. I can. It's a time of almost meditation, because you're zeroed in to this instrument and to learning this song. So to me, I don't have to think about it. It takes off a pressure when you think that. A lot of times you think you have to monetize a hobby. Well, once you realize I don't have to be great at it, I don't have to be a master at it, and I don't have to make money from it. All I have to do is enjoy it and do it to the best of my ability for myself, to surprise myself with that. So that's something that I like to do just for myself. But it could be that you give yourself a manicure. It could be whatever it is that you enjoy doing, fixing a nice meal, maybe just having your morning routine, which I'm going to be talking about a morning routine and how important that is too. I just recently started doing that. But anyway, time for yourself. Make time for yourself. There is time for yourself. That is very centering and very calming. Sorry, I had a bit of a brain frog. Brain fog. Brain frog. And I couldn't think of the other thing I wanted to tell you. But the other thing, and maybe you won't agree with this, if you don't, let me know in the comments, but I like to make time also for the things that you have to make time for. Okay, like for example, you have to make time even on the weekends to fix your finances a little bit, balance the checkbook, pay off the bill. Because sometimes if during the week you come home, you're tired, you want to have dinner, you want to watch a television show, you want to relax, you want to take the edge off, you want to maybe go to the gym. Well, how about all the things that we put off? I like to make time to squeeze them in, even if I sort of budget the time that I do it. But I like to make sure that I don't procrastinate as much as possible and get those things done. That includes going shopping for food, going and dusting like I did before in the house. I'll put off until tomorrow the vacuuming and all that other stuff, but I like to have the house straightened up. I like to have the house at one point or another just dusted, everything in its place. That's me personally. I like to do that. I like to make sure that the laundry doesn't pile up, so I make sure that I don't put that off, and I do that and I put it away, because that to me is stressful, to have a lot of things that have been put aside, or a bill that you didn't think that you paid, and all of these other things. Over the years, I've learned how dangerous procrastination is, and I won't say that I don't procrastinate, because I still do, but it's really good to set aside time, half an hour, to do your laundry, to do this, to do that. And like that, you have the time and you can really and truly enjoy what it is that you have to do. So that's also things that I would prioritize. And last but not least, prioritize some time to not do anything, to not have to get anything done. Pencil that one in into your schedule. To not have to, we glorify in this society busyness. Everybody has to be busy. Everybody has to be productive at all times. We don't have to be. There could be time where we just are. We're not machines that have to be constantly functioning and constantly doing something. No, just sit outside, just breathe in the air, just do nothing for a little bit. It's not like we get to do that at work. We can't do that. We can't always do that. But on our free time, it's good for the mind. It's good for the soul, just to not have to constantly do, but rather just to be, just to relax, just to not have to do. And that's not sleeping. It's actually just not doing anything at all. Just sitting for a few minutes, 5 minutes a day. Just sitting, looking out at traffic, looking out at people passing. You can sit in a coffee shop. You can sit on your porch if you have one. You could just sit in your room and just not do anything for a few minutes. Now, I wouldn't suggest that all day long, because that could get to be too much. But take some time to not have to be doing something at all times. We don't have to. So that is my little list of things to prioritize for scheduling your time. I don't know how my time will look later on. I like my friend's schedule. my friend's schedule really looks great. But anyway, I want to thank you for watching this video. I hope it's been helpful. If you disagree with anything, or if you have something to add, I hope that you leave a comment. I'd love to read it. And I hope you consider subscribing to my channel. But for now, I just want to thank you for coming and watching. And the next one shouldn't take that long. I wasn't feeling good for a few days. So anyway, thanks for watching, and may God bless you.